Hey, welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm DJ Impact, and I got a couple of the bad boys here with us. We don't have Sin City Steve because he's at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, which is happening right now. And so he will more than likely be back in the following weeks, but the show must go on. So welcome to the show again. If you're listening to us live, feel free to throw your comments in, and we'll try to get it in as we see fit. We're always live on YouTube Live, Twitch Live, and Facebook Live. So make sure you join us on those platforms. And if you can't be on the live show, you can always download the podcast, which is pretty much on every podcast platform there is. All right. So with that, let's get right into our wrestling talk. All right, four-way stop. I'll start with you, Simon Street. What was your highlights for this week's wrestling?
Wow. Well, after just getting done for watching Forbidden Door, first of all, shout out to y'all, fine gentlemen. I know that you're not the biggest supporters of AEW, but I appreciate you letting me watch as much as I can before coming on. So I appreciate that. A lot of highlights, but also too a little bit from WWE. One thing I will say, a couple highlights was NXT 2.0, Solo versus Waller. Grayson Waller was a really good match. I mean, obviously, we know the outcome. Sokoa didn't, go over, but it's good for Waller because we already know that Solo is destined for great things, and it's coming through him, especially with the changes coming back to NXT. I'm pretty sure the right people in place are going to make sure that happens even better than what it's supposed to. Other things for me that were highlights was SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. I felt that was a good match. I think there was a lot going in. I think we expect great things for them. They've had great matches before in the past, and they did not disappoint. Also too, coming up, McAfee's challenge to Corbin. I'm pretty sure Impact, you're excited for something like that. I'm really not a big Corbin guy, but I think that would be a good match to see McAfee jump back up in there. If, Corbin answers the challenge, I'm sure he will. And then a couple of highlights from Forbidden Door, man. I felt like it was a good pay-per-view for the most part, based on consistency. Pac winning the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. It was a really good match. I thought Miro was going to be the one that was good. I thought the match was made for him. Obviously, it wasn't. Really great showing for all those guys. Also, too, I would say, and I'll talk a little bit more later on, but Will Ospreay, versus Orange Cassidy was a really good one as well. Overall, just pretty good wrestling. I wish I could say the same for Raw, but there wasn't too much. But that's pretty much some of my highlights.
No doubt. Matt Michaels, what did you have for your four-way?
The honorary Oos, Sami Zayn. Great promo, great match against Shinsuke. I would cash it in on Brock Lesnar when he was talking to Paul. That was fucking great. And Sammy then doing that silent reaction to Paul's look. That was just beautifully done. Shanky dancing to the New Day theme with the trombone. That was beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And then the commentary, I think it was Corey who said or was it one of the New Day guys who said he's walking on you just like he did 3MB, which was pretty clever stuff. Viking Raiders, Pat McAfee. These ninja-like nimble Vikings attacked them from behind, which was excellent. Raquel with Sonya on her back and yet able to slam Zaya was amazing. That was just like, she looked like she was huge with those women in the ring. Natty as Ronda was pretty great. Ronda had a couple good lines. I almost didn't recognize you without your rack out. And I'm also not going to mutilate my body chasing impossible industry beauty standards like you do. That was some brutal shit going on there. So, yep.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I thought I would give a shout out to Rhonda because I get kind of nervous when she has the mic because I just feel she's not there yet on the mic. So every time she comes, I go, "Oh my God, please don't say nothing that causes the people to go, "What?" and start just booing. But that promo was probably one of the best she's had in a long time, and she was on point with everything she said. So big shout out to that. Of course, I had the backstage segment with Kayla, Paul, and Sammy. That definitely was awesome. The women's fatal five way to who's going to face Bianca. I thought that was a cool match. I didn't care necessarily for who she's going to be fighting, but that's all right. I mean, it is what it is. For what we have at the moment. Um, Also, I like what they were doing with the entire Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, just completely remove them, and then they had to come together to beat the Usos to be back into the Money in the Bank match because, of course, if either one of them win, they could cash in and beat Roman Reigns. So, we'll see where that goes. Tonight, Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. I will say that I was somewhat impressed by that match, and a little bit more at Orange Cassidy. I give that guy shit a lot, and that's just because it's I don't I get it, but I don't get it. I mean, he still puts his hands in his pocket. He's been doing that for several years now. But what I found this is that there was a little bit more of athleticism I felt that came, and I think you have to have that if you're going to go against Will Ospreay because that dude. The more I see him, and I haven't watched tons of his matches, but the more I see him, this guy is definitely on point, and you've got to be ready to the combat. And Orange has some pretty good moves on him, so I'll give a good shout out to that tonight. So that would be my four-way, but we got to get right into our Too Sweet for the week. So let's do it. Oh, and look, before I started Too Sweet, looked like Sean said, hey, his highlight was Kushida returning to New Japan this week since leaving NXT. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So there you go with that. Too Sweet for the week. I'll start this off, fellas. Hey, the Elias concert, right? I mean, come on. That was cool to see it again, and how they did the whole thing with both guys on the couch. I mean, that was just beautiful done. And I also want to shout out the storyline. I know there's some people that probably just hate it, but this has been masterfully done from the beginning. And KO is definitely one of the big reasons for that. It just shows how well of not only you have to be good when it comes to your athleticism, but you got to be good in terms of your acting skills and making it believable. And Kevin Owens is one of those people that's like, dude, this guy gets in and he gets it, and it's exciting. So I'm enjoying it even more after that concert. The Von Wagner and Brooks Jensen's match, I actually like that. Santos Escobar looked like he was going to throw the Nux over into well, not that one. That one. I'm sorry. I'm skipping to a second. I'm gonna jump over that one in a minute. Yeah, that was the last one. But no, the Wagner and Jensen match, I actually thought that was a pretty good match. You really got to show a little bit more of Jensen, to see what type of skills that he got. So, but I tell you, when it comes to Wagner, I would like to see more of him taking directions from the lady. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So hopefully she'd be back out there. The Shinsuke and Sami Zayn match, man, that was one hell of a match. That was definitely too sweet from beginning to end. It was that was a pay-per-view style match, and as far as I was concerned. So that was really good. And Sami Callihan, I just want to shout out, he had a new entrance this week, and a new way that he did his they had video. I don't know how they did the video. Maybe they had something where video was attached to his, like, maybe his hat, and the camera was facing him, because as he was going through moving fast, you see the camera moving with him, just as if you know Sammy's kind of style, so it's a different camera angle that they were using. It looked like it was attached to him. Pretty nice. I like that. And can you believe Sammy is like a face. I mean, you know, to not be a heel is just it's really awkward to see him not in that mode, and you know, would move. So anyway, that was my too sweet for the week. Simon Street, what's your too sweet?
My too sweet for the week actually came from Raw, only just because I thought it was hilarious as shit. Was the Bobby Lashley versus Otis, Gable, and Theory. I thought that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a problem with that one. I mean, that was the only thing I liked with Raw. But really, the too sweet for the week was coming from AEW Forbidden Door, Jay White, Adam Cole, Okada, Hangman, Adam Page. For me, and I don't know if you guys will probably agree or not, but I will say I thought it was cool to see the exposure of people who normally don't watch New Japan and to understand and to really see the Rain Man, you know, Okada. Like, I think a lot of people really don't know. And I thought it was just really cool how they showcase it. Like all four of those participants did an excellent job. I felt from start to end, it was just wow. I mean, like, they were all on point, you know what I mean? And it came together well. I did not think it was going to, at first, looking at the card, I was like, might be a little discombobulated, but everything went together smooth. And I think a lot of that is, it goes to show is a lot of those guys are familiar with each other. You know what I mean? All four of those guys have been in New Japan in the past at one point or another. So they are comfortable with each other. Was really, really cool. Another thing that was really, kind of fun to watch was kind of seeing, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. That was an amazing, amazing match, mostly just for Will Ospreay because, again, like I'm going to say, a lot of people may not stateside be familiar with him. And I know he's been on AEW showings the last couple of weeks and whatnot, but that match that he had with Orange Cassidy, again, just shows like another level that he's on. And it was just, it was just fantastic to watch. So that's why, that was my too sweet for the week.
Yeah, no doubt. And just before I get to Matt Michaels, I totally forgot. I kind of slipped up when I messed up when I was talking about Wagner and Jensen, but I also threw in the Tony D'Angelo and Carmelo match. That one was in mine too, because I just love when Santos just had the knucks and he couldn't get it to get it right to Tony, and it slipped over to Carmelo. That was so great. I'm loving that whole storyline too. And Tony's kind of growing on me. Tony's growing on me a little bit. So I'm sorry. I forgot to throw that in there. Matt Michaels, what else? Yeah, too sweet for the week.
No, you know what? You made a good point too. Wasn't it remarkable how the toss was perfect to Carmelo?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like if he overshot it or anything, it would have been bad. But it was just like beautiful. And Carmelo's look when he got the knucks,
right?
Beautiful. That was so nice.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed Drew and Sheamus versus the Usos. There was a lot of story going on there.
Yeah.
Especially with those, with the run-ins that you thought would potentially fuck with the match. There was just so much going on, and yet they went with a pretty decent finish on it. Austin Theory's promo, and then seeing Lashley in the selfie.
Yeah.
That was fucking great.
Yeah.
And then to rub it in, they put the picture on the Titantron.
Yeah.
Like, has anyone kind of gone like, isn't it his personal phone? How are they getting his phone to shoot it onto the Titantron?
Yeah.
Well, you got to give him props, because if he sent it to the truck or wherever and they grabbed it that quick, shout out to Theory for doing that, because that's the only thing that makes sense unless they already have stock.
Right. Yeah. You would assume, right?
Yeah.
And Theory, top guy within the next year. There is no doubt about it.
I get that.
Trajectories there. Again, seeing Zeke and Elias together, it proves they are different people.
Yeah.
So I'll buy into it. Because if it was a fake beard in the clothes, how did he get around so quick to backstage?
That's right.
Ezekiel was there. It was like so. But Kevin Owens, you're right. Kevin Owens' reactions,
yeah,
especially right after that spot when he said he'd take the match for next week, and he just puts his hands on his head and is like pulling out his hair almost and just like wailing like he's going insane.
And he did it. And he said exactly what they did was, look, you can't trick me. I know that video was recorded earlier.
Right. It was fucking brilliant. And here he is in his full wrestling gear. It's
Right.
like if that was a quick change, oh damn, that was a pretty good quick change.
And there's an element for the audience and there's an element for the TV. Because of course you have Elias was in the ring, but you saw when they went back to the back, then you had Ezekiel, who now met him as if he was always back. So there's too many elements they're playing with, and it's just great. I mean, they're just shout out to them on this storyline.
And especially think about it, there's got to be kids out there who are just, it's like blowing their mind. They've got to be buying into this, right? I would assume.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So again, I think this has been said here before, but man, if it turns out that he has a brother that looks like that,
that'd be nuts.
Yeah, it'd be amazing, right?
It would be.
Did you not think? Sorry to add this in, but did you guys not? I don't know. Y'all fit the same age category. Did you not feel like they was gonna do like a Parent Trap song and dance when they had two of them on opposite sides together? I don't know. Maybe it was just me. I thought they were gonna start singing "Let's Get Together." Yeah. I'm just saying, I thought it'd been pretty funny. They should have done that shit because they can both sing technically.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if Ezekiel can sing. We've never heard Zeke's singing voice.
Yeah.
So
this is true.
Yeah.
You know what? Time out. Why don't they have Ezekiel sing and it's horrible? It's like high pitched out. It's horrible. That'd be perfect.
And Sean just brought up it's like the dual referee spot for Hogan versus Andre, except with the dual referee spot, they were actual twins. This is kind of like just almost on that verge of fucking around with it enough that you want to kind of, you want to believe like, I mean, I was looking at that beard, every close up they shot of him in the concert shot. I was looking, I wanted to see that beard just like coming up a little bit and stuff. There was nothing. And it was like, oh shit. Like eventually,
which makes you wonder, can they find a person that kind of resembles him that they can just put the beard on? Maybe not have him do a lot of talking, but at least even if he just comes out from the back while Ezekiel's in the ring to kind of show that double it, could still be kind of, it can work.
Yeah, especially if they keep him like on the stage with the guitar and like a low light.
Low light, yep.
That would be amazing. It would be great. And boy, I've missed those Elias concerts because it always seems to end with a nice guitar shot, which is always fun. So,
right.
Yeah, I agree. Waller versus Solo was good, especially because Waller, he's one of those guys who's going to be doing a lot of working in the ring because he's a good worker, but he's also that heel that is just that chicken shit heel. So it's a nice work. And speaking of guys who can work, Cameron Grimes has to be one of the top 5 workers in WWE right now.
Right.
That match was fucking great. And it's like, oh my God. And I can't wait to see him and Braun, man.
Right. Yeah.
Braun is going to be.
Yeah.
That's going to be hot.
You got a lot of people coming up at NXT. Like, I mean, assuming that things go correctly as they should, it's going to be stacked. It's going to be good for the future.
All right, guys, let's get into this week's WTF. All right, I'll go here. I didn't have too much, but you know what? I'm done with Shanky dancing. I'm done with it. I mean, it was fun. He was dancing with Ricochet's girl. All right, that's cool. But now they created an entire, segment where they got the whole arena onto it. And then Shanky does the same dances. Maybe if he comes up with something different, it'll be like, okay, that's funny. But he does
busting that Bollywood shit, man. He was getting it.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Okay. NXT, Solo Sikoa and Grayson Waller. I love the match, right? But you're telling me that the ref didn't see when Waller pulls the corner off with the exposed buckle. The ref literally at one point, because Grayson tried to throw it out of the ring, and the ref literally at some point, because he didn't make it to the ring, just kicked it out. Hey, ref, this is an exposed buckle. Why don't you act like you've seen it? Okay, have some reference to it. I don't know. That was a WTF for me. And how about the 3 count that happened with, was it Tamina and Shotzi at on SmackDown? In fact, McAfee was like, that's a 3 count. And I was like, that is a 3 count. And I went back and rewound it. And I'm like, yes, that's a 3 count. How did you mess that one up? WTF on that one, but that one just kind of went by as well. So, which is weird, because if you know how the match is determined, what made him even hit it the 3rd time? I was a little confused on that one. So, nevertheless, that was my WTS for the week. How about you, Simon?
I don't know. I might have to go with that name. That sounds kind of slick. Striker. Nah. My WTF, actually, I think we're all going to have the same WTF, Shanky, but not so much that, just like, damn, man, is that what New Day is relegated to now? Is this shit? I mean, and that might be my personal opinion. I get it, but I was just like, I didn't see the purpose of it at all. It just kind of sucks. I get it that they did that to kind of have the Viking Raiders 2.0 or whatever, more authentic Viking Raiders come out. But I just kind of felt like, damn, like this is what New Day is doing until Biggie gets back. Is this what we're going to see? I guess everybody got to have a job, I guess, whatever. So that was one of my WTFs. I feel like New Day's way better than that. Another one is NXT 2.0. I mean, the whole Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade challenge Toxic Attraction for the tag titles. Man, I mean, and maybe it's just me. I felt like for what they were trying to pipe it up to, it should have been a little bit better. Maybe because it was a lot longer than it probably should have been, maybe. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I love the girls in Toxic Attraction.
Yeah, you can't tell me you don't want to see those 4 rolling around.
Well, I was just about to say that. Hold on. All right. So I'm going to share a little bit of it real quick. So I'm watching this with my girl, and she's never gotten a chance to see them. I said, well, these are the girls that, you don't want to bring home to mama, because she's going to be like, hell to the no, not these girls. And she looked at him, she's like, yeah, if I had a son, he brought one of them girls. I'm like, hell no, send that bitch back. But we were watching the match, and she kind of even noticed. She was like, their interest, she said the interest was cool, but not much was, entertaining. And I feel like you have something there with Toxic Attraction. When we're talking about, Gigi Dolan, it's like there's something that's missing. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. So I'm going to keep saying what the fuck on this one. Could have been a lot better. Maybe whoever the next challenges is for Toxic Attraction, it'll be a lot better. They can do one. That's just my opinion. That's my what the fuck.
Okay, what you got, Matt Michaels?
We got to go what the fuck to bringing in Silas Young just to job out to hand. That sucked. Yeah. And in his hometown. And everyone always says, "Oh, AEW, the guys get to win in their hometown," because WWE, they don't do that. So
yeah,
that one just was really like, damn it. I also want to know, is it Rampage or ROH? Because
it was very ROH heavy.
ROH, kind of strange. I don't know. They got to do something about that. Can we please release Ricochet already? Just release.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I didn't need to see that match again. Emperor Palpatine hyping up Cena for Monday Night Raw. That was interesting. God, Vince looks like, keep him off TV now.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And then finally, can we just say what the fuck to having Veer talk? The guy's a monster. And then he just like sounds like a meek, really nice guy. And it's like, oh, damn.
Can I just want to tell you, Michaels, when we were at WrestleMania weekend, I had the opportunity to sit across from the guy who is Veer. He speaks very eloquent. He enunciates all of his words. So I think that real life kind of dribbled into the character, because he was very eloquent with the way he spoke.
Yeah, it just kind of breaks down the whole this guy's a monster and he's going to kill you when he's you know eh, if he would have just spoke in non-English and like knew that like
If he would have just growled and that was it.
sure sure so yeah I think that's another what the fuck.
All right. Let's get into our what we're looking out for. All right. What am I looking out for? Well, tonight on the Forbidden Door, I guess let's see if I can get this right, Claudio Castagnoli. I'm sure I'm not.
Castellanoli.
There you go.
Castagnoli.
Cesaro.
Right, that's about to say Cesaro showed up. So I'm looking to see what they're going to do with him. I mean, the one thing I will say that I knew I was never going to have the opportunity of seeing Cesaro as a WWE champion of a WWE champion. And that's okay if that's what it is. But let's see what AEW does with him. Are they going to get him up to that level, or are they just going to keep him mid card, or at some point he just falls off as well? I don't know, but I'm looking to see, and I'm wishing them luck for that. So I'm not fans of Chance and Carter too much, although I was a little bit impressed this past week on NXT. But they are having their match with Perez and Jade, and I am interested to see where that's going to go. That leads to Toxic Attraction. I'm not going to say they're growing on me, but they did a better job in keeping me entertained with their match.
Do you think it was because they were a little more heelish with that promo against?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
It could have been. Yeah, because I don't like that whole, hey, we're TikToking and we're dancing.
Yeah.
I don't like that shit. Yeah, so that could be it. Man, why they keep tasing me with Max Dupree? I'm ready for this guy to get his maximum male model out there so we can see what's going on. For some reason I feel this whole thing's gonna end up being him. But whatever the case may be, I'm digging the storyline. They keep teasing me with it. Give it to me. Come on, get it right, man. Adam,
dude. He has a better chance of being the FSW champion within the next 6 months than actually getting a chance to be out there. It's frustrating. I agree 100%.
Yeah. The last thing I'm looking out for is Wes Lee. First off, shout out to the fans, gave him a lot of love, and it was I give a lot of respect for that. But I'm ready to see what they are going to do with him next. And man, I just don't want him at all to be on the chopping block. I hope they see what everybody else see and continue to work on building his career, because I think he can be up there with great matches of having those with an AJ Styles, a Seth Rollins. I could see those type of matches just going huge if they just give them time and let them work it out. So I'm looking out for that. How about you, Matt Michaels? What are you looking for?
I gotta say the Pat McAfee versus Corbin at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
That just is. We got about 6 weeks or so to set that up or whatever it is. So that should be interesting. I think that what we saw from Corbin last week and what we saw from McAfee this week. And two big dudes and two guys who will probably see some like vignettes or like interviews with ex-football players or current football players to comment because of the fact that they were both football players. So good little tie-in too, especially around that time when SummerSlam is, and football season is going to be right around the corner.
Yeah.
You know what? I got to say, SummerSlam, Brock versus Roman in a last man standing match. Very interesting. And a lot of it obviously has to come down because of the fact that there have been so many injuries going on that, the original plans looked like it could have been Randy. So we see Brock again. At least Roman will be on the show, we think, right? So
I wouldn't put my money on that.
you never know, man. He might just take the night off, and so might Brock.
Yeah.
I actually was hyped up by the Tiffany Stratton, Wendy Chu potential. That promo actually made me go, you know what? That's kind of interesting. I like it. And then
Isn't it good seeing both of them anyways? I mean, don't you get a little piped up seeing Stratton anyways?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, you know what's crazy? If it's crazy seeing Wendy in all of her onesies and all those that. But I tell you, I just I've been on her Instagram account, and
have you now? Have you now?
I have. I won't lie. And then I tell you, she don't have onesies on there. Okay. But listen.
Hey, Michaels, we may have to pause the show because there might be a dispute happening in the Impact house.
He's got the perfect excuse. He can go, I thought I was on your Instagram, honey.
There you go.
Look at how good you look. You look just as good as she does.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, she, you just want to see a beautiful woman. Just check out our Instagram page because you don't
see the one where she laying on the couch.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
That's the newest one.
Because the majority of them are just her, just kind of posing and just kind of like she don't do a lot of like most IG models putting their ass all out. She just most of the time just takes regular pictures. But I'm just saying you don't get to see that look of her from the show because he's always in onesies. So it's like two different people when you check her out. But I'm sorry, man. Go ahead, Michaels. You know you probably out.
Oh no, that's okay. Oh yeah. Oh. I'll
I already know where this is going.
Are you on the show? Oh, you on this? Okay, you're gonna make me go to her Instagram. Okay. Well, while we
you right now,
he ain't on Wendy Chu's Instagram.
Damn.
Don't do it.
Oh boy.
So the final thing I'd have to say, dude, I really was hyped up with the Thea moving into the Chase U dorms.
Yeah.
Dude. That was awesome. And it's like
right.
This whole now it's the weird dynamic of we're co-ed dorms.
Right.
And he's playing off of it as like just like having like, oh my God, this is gonna be hell. And then classes start this Tuesday.
This is gonna be so interesting, right?
Yeah, can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. All right, Simon Street, what do you have you're looking out for?
I'll make mine a little short. So obviously I'll add to what you said, Impact, Claudio Castellanoli, and AEW. I think it's good. I think it's really, really good, especially the way they're bringing them in with being a part of the Blackpool Combat Club. I think it works better going in that because let's be real. Cesaro has a lot of things, but when he was in WWE as Cesaro, he had a lot of things going for him. Mike skills, not maybe the best. Might have been some improvements. Maybe took some acting classes or whatever. I don't know. But it's better going through this way because you're already associated with a group of guys, A, you're familiar with, B, being in a stable like that helps with bridging the gap, I feel, with some of those deficiencies we've seen in the past, right? It's also good, I feel, in a holding pattern because right now with AEW, there's a lot of things popping, a lot of things going on, and there's injuries, obviously. I think it's good to put them in that holding pattern, and then whenever they want to release the button, they can. I'm just excited for him to be there because when I think about him versus Miro, right? I mean, yeah, we had that in the past in WWE with Rusev and Cesaro, but I think we'll see a little bit better matchup down the road, maybe in that situation. Even like I said, I don't want to go too much into it, but the match that he had with Zack Sabre Jr. was phenomenal. I felt like that was the perfect person for him to be in a match with. It showcased Zack Sabre Jr.'s, and we already know that Claudio is a work of athleticism, and he's just a specimen. He is, I would say, and hopefully I'm saying it correctly, a wrestler's wrestler. When I hear a lot of wrestlers that speak about somebody that they probably would watch nonstop, they've always mentioned him, whether he was in WWE or now he being in AEW. So I'm super looking for him. Another person I'm looking at, and I was sleeping a little bit on NXT for the last couple of weeks because I've been busy. Damon Kemp. Oh my God. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's Gable Stevenson's brother, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because his name's Robert, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Dude is a monster.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I'm excited to see more of him coming in, as we talked about a little bit earlier.
Well,
a lot of things.
And you would figure that it's going to end up being the brothers versus those two.
Creed brothers.
Well, not the brothers.
Okay. You're talking about the Stevenson brothers.
No, that's Steve, the Diamond Mines guys.
The Creed brothers.
Creed brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which when I think of Creed, I think of Apollo Creed. So that's why I can't keep this guy's name in my head. I think you're right. I think seeing those two teams finally go at each other for Diamond Mine, like superiority or calling themselves whatever. I think, that should be interesting. Good call on that one.
Yeah, I mean, because I was very impressed. And like I said, it's my first time seeing him in ring action. I don't know if maybe he already was in a couple of matches before. I don't remember, like 2 weeks ago he being in a match. So I think it might have been almost kind of like a debut, sort of, kind of. Maybe he was in Level Up. Maybe that's why I wasn't paying attention, because I don't watch Level Up as much as I probably should. But like I said, we mentioned it earlier. NXT 2.0, especially with some of the changes that have been reinitiated back into management, very promising for that brand. Very, very promising. A lot to work with. So
all right. Well, we will go into what is the best in show this week. All right, so best in show would probably be for me SmackDown. It definitely was entertaining all the way from beginning to end. Again, the Shinsuke Sammy match was just awesome. Natalia doing the whole thing with Ronda, watching Gunther kill Ricochet was just
basically.
The Paul Heyman segment was really cool. Also learned that is the Undertaker having something called a one dead man show that he's going to take questions. What? You're going to make me go to SummerSlam not to go to the actual show, but just to go to his show and then fly back after the Q&A. But yeah, SmackDown. Yeah. SmackDown was definitely my best in show this week. If I was a New Japan fan, it would have been Forbidden Door, but oh well. Matt Michaels, what was your best in show?
Oh, it had to be Forbidden Door. With that being said, no, and NXT, I think, and SmackDown, it's like neck and neck, man. I really thought both those were really solid from beginning to end. But best in show, I'm going to give to The Rock for buying Tamina the house.
Yeah, that was cool. That's what's up. It was a good nod.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, just look it up on online, and you talk about someone who takes care of the family. That's pretty freaking awesome to buy your cousin a house.
Yeah,
the real head of the table.
Yeah.
That's dope. All right, Simon Street, what was yours, man?
To be real with you, mine honestly was AEW Forbidden Door. And the reason why I would say that is because they went in to accomplish a mission, right? And I felt like they succeeded. They went in, they wanted to expose stateside to more casual people who probably only would watch AEW, maybe wouldn't ordinarily try to venture out and see New Japan talent, or for some people who, like myself sometimes, doesn't get a chance to always constantly watch and see some familiar faces. I felt like they accomplished it. Shout out to them too, because there was a lot of snags that they experienced a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks before Forbidden Door, to where, like I said, with injuries, trying to kind of navigate through that. And I felt like they put like all the card together. It was decent. I mean, obviously, some people. I'll put it this way. I think that they even utilize matches that normally I know you two can't stand, and anything that says Sting is usually something where like, oh my gosh. But they even found a way to creatively utilize Sting to where he wasn't just yucking up a match. Again, it was just really, really great from start to finish.
I will say this.
Even
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I shouldn't have, go ahead, man. Keep going.
No, I was also gonna say too. This whole time I've been trying to contain myself a little bit. You probably seen me get more animated because I'm watching the last match, John Moxley versus freaking Tanahashi.
Wait, it literally is still going? Because I was going to make a joke about it still going, but
well, yeah. No. I'm trying to contain myself while I'm talking to y'all and watching it at the same time. And I'm like, shit, it's finally. Well, that match is finished. I don't know. Should I get spoilers? Are we gonna get trouble for some shit like that?
No, it's over.
Fuck it. John Moxley wins the interim AEW championship. So that's entering. Even though we give shit about this whole interim weird shit. So, anyways, we got John Moxley. We got CM Punk still AEW championship. That makes for a good match down the road whenever Punk's foot heals in like, I don't know, 7 to 8 weeks. I don't know how long or months. I don't know how long it takes. Anyways, I shut the fuck up. It was really cool. I liked it. I was enjoyed it. Made me want to really start making time to watch New Japan. And I would say they played it safe. It was great.
Yeah, I'll just say this right quick before we end it. So I looked a little bit at the Thunder Rosa Tony Storm match, and I think I might know part of some of the issue is with the, and I could be wrong. It was just something that hit me while I was watching it. When you watch all the matches before they get to a lot of the women's matches, you're watching nothing but spots on spots and jumping off the rings and jumping off the arenas and all types of crazy shit that they do constantly, one after one match, one next to the next match or the next match. It's just spot after spot after spot. And then sometimes when you get to the women's match, they're not doing a bunch of spots. They may just be doing more just basic wrestling. And it doesn't turn out to be as exciting. Like there is like a down period from that. So I don't know if that's something they want to think about when, in terms of their women matches, because you want to make that just as exciting as the men's. But if they're not doing all of these spots that all of these men's are doing, at times when you start to watch it, the crowd is just, they like it, but it doesn't have the same effect. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well,
no, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, just a quick question. DJ, do you think that could have been the crowd not? So would it have been different maybe if Rosa faced someone from New Japan? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were there specifically to see New Japan.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's it. Because Tony Storm and Rosa are fucking great.
Right.
And I see what you're saying, 100%. But it's like that New Japan style is that, like, all that shit. And so maybe, I don't know. Simon,
well, I was also going to say too, traditionally, if you look at New Japan, there's really not a women's division. That's more where you see like, different promotions that they have in Japan. That's more for women, right? But there is a point that Impact did make that I've seen recently with exactly that. And I think a lot of that is, and it's my opinion, Britt Baker really had a lot of crazy bloody ass matches for a while. And that's not to take away from Thunder Rosa and the job she's done. I think she's been a great, female representation of AEW locker room for the most part. But I feel like it's kind of, does she have to meet that level that was kind of given if that's the spot in the example that Impact gave?
Well, I'm just saying.
See what I'm saying? Because I wonder if some people expect that.
Maybe you want to have like a big man's match, like a Hobbs or like a Warlow match before they get on, because they're not going to do no more than their power slams and then that's it. But you're not going to get these crazy spots that's happening before their match to just get them going, that they're just at every match.
I think it just all depends on, you're right, the spot that they're on the card. But I think also too is just how they boost the match. I think and I could be wrong. The last couple competitors that Thunder Rosa has faced has not been, I want to say that's the pace of the match was supposed to be, right? It wasn't supposed to be this crazy high spot, intense type of match. It's always been almost like more of like level-headed, ground pound, like technical match.
But they don't have any women that I know of that do spots the way the men do.
Yeah, right. Well, they did. I mean, Sheeta was doing a whole bunch of
that worked
high
out.
Spots for a while. I know it didn't work out so well, but I'm just saying, like, Yeah, so you're right for the most part.
But there's two things that you guys just said that are kind of interesting. One is Britt Baker. If she didn't bleed and she wasn't entertaining on the mic, would anyone care? Because she's not a good wrestler. Watch her wrestler. She's not Thunder Rosa in the ring. She's not Tori Storm in the ring.
Right.
Yeah.
But the second thing, and I think that you just hit something I didn't even think about, DJ.
Mm-hmm.
You just mentioned Hobbs and Wardlow, and neither of them were on this show.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy. That here's where are your guys, right?
Well, I can answer that again. I think that with this pay-per-view, I saw that they were playing it safe as much as they could. I really felt like they were playing safe because it did feel like AEW heavy, obviously, right? But I felt like it was more trying to groom newer audiences to see a Japan product.
I think you're wrong, and the reason I think you're wrong is this: the fans here that watch AEW, there will be some new people who watch New Japan, some, but for the most part, the AEW fans already watch it.
Right.
That is true.
But AEW could have made themselves a bigger name in Japan if you would have seen now some of those new guys they've never possibly seen. Do you think that they've seen Wardlow or Will Hobbs in Japan? Probably not, unless they are aware of AEW. So, and then what is their deal in Japan? I'm not too sure of their distribution.
Well, I'll leave it at this because I don't want to say no more and waste time. But one thing that's interesting is the showtime. So we just got done over here in the United States watching it, right? But I believe Australia, UK is like 1 a.m. Australia is a little bit later than that. So, and even though
they probably leave the next day, they're in the morning.
Well, that's what I mean, the next day. But I'm saying that's when it's going to be shown for them. So that's interesting to see because you make a good point, Michael. It's like what does that look like internationally for AEW and eyes on the AEW product? Because I only did look at it one way. It looked like they were grooming a lot of people to kind of ease people into the New Japan product, even to the point to where when a lot of the announcers, like after the end of the finish, you would hear, Japanese announcer name the name right afterwards. So I don't know, just it was interesting. I liked it.
All right, guys, good stuff. Well, everyone, thanks for hanging out and hanging out with us. And we're going to start up our next 3 count live cast in just a moment. So if you're watching us, just be prepared to when you see that notification, just jump back on and we have a discussion. We got 3 good topics. If you're watching online, you see what those topics are going to be. If you're just downloading, thank you for taking the time to download and listen to us. And we will, we'll see you back next time. Until then, take care and happy wrestling.